I'm very pleased to be here with Mantosh Kumar, Director of Product Management for the HRS experience. Newly joined Phenom, came from Amazon, and he's got some pretty awesome stuff to show you today relative to how Phenom is addressing the need to scale integrations. I'm Ed Newman, founder of Talent EXP. We are a systems integrator and partner with Phenom. I actually spent 10 years on the Phenom leadership team as a chief evangelist and recently started this business to offer professional services to the customer base. Please come by and say hi to us at the booth. We got our whole team here and we'd love to get to know you. Just to tee this up, well, before we get started, we have to make a statement about our shared vision and mission to help 1 billion people find the right job. Very, very near and dear to my heart, having been on the Phenom team for so long. I think we're all on board with that. I'm a little bit of a historian. I like to walk down memory lane. So I want to just do a little bit of a review and take a look at the face of today's HR and talent tech stack. It all started with the applicant tracking system, and those applicant tracking systems came with these job portals. However, all of our corporate marketing folks said, no way is that getting on our .com site. So we had to create these career sites for our employer brand. We added those to the mix. Then, of course, our recruiters needed lots of support, so we went out and got them CRMs. We bought them referral solutions. We built microsites, social sites, mobile sites, SMS, texting, chatbots, and now AI. Now, if you take a really close look at this, squint your eyes a little bit, you will see what this has turned into. We've created Frankenstein. Actually, it's no joke. The average corporation has upwards of 15 different solutions in their tech stack. And if you take a look at the different categories, you'll see why. All these different categories. Phenom's done an amazing job, phenomenal job, of putting together a platform to bring some of these things together in a single ecosystem. However, there's still always going to be opportunities and a need for integrations. And if you think that's busy, take a look at the number of solutions that are in the market. This is the Talent Tech Labs ecosystem, and it's just too busy to even look at them all. So, what I'd like to do is turn it over to Mantosh to walk through how Phenom is addressing this problem and enabling us to do more powerful integration.
All right, thank you, Ed. So hopefully that gives you a sense of the fragmentation in this HR tech landscape, right? So when we think about this landscape, right, our big question is that how do our customers still continue to benefit from all the point solutions, all the innovations that are happening in this space, but at the same time, they can still provide those amazing experiences using the Phenom platform. And that's where the integrations comes into picture, right? So, as many of you already know, we already have powerful integration capabilities in the platform, but we firmly believe that what got us here will really not get us there. And that's where we want to make all the new investments in the technology, all the integration capabilities in our platform so that we can do a lot more than that. So we'll walk through that. Sorry.
Big green button.
All right, so let's just quickly review as to why we are investing in the next generation of integration capabilities, right? So as I talked about, all these point solutions, they will continue to grow. All of our customers will still continue to benefit from these point solutions because they do sort of fulfill the need that you have in this domain. The second one is that all these integration technologies, we cannot really predict the future, how these technologies are going to evolve. You might have heard about some of these new API versions keeps coming up. We have RESTful APIs, we have SOAP APIs, we have new authentication technologies, we have new messaging systems, and so on and so forth. So again, we cannot predict the future, and that's why I think we still need to make sure that we are able to integrate with every system. The third one is that our customers, of course, as they are using these point solutions, they want to benefit from all the new versions, all the new technologies that come in, because that's crucial to their strategy. So we would like to make sure that we are able to integrate, we are able to enhance your integrations, build on the new integrations, etc. within the cost and time that is friendly for all of us. Right? That's where the speed and cost comes into picture. And then to sum it all up, right, the traditional approaches, the way we do the integrations today, as I said, is really not gonna provide the scalability and the time friendliness that we are looking for. And that's why we are making all of these big investments. So with that, I would like to actually introduce the connector builder and the flow designer. Now I'll switch over to my machine. We'll do maybe a quick 10-minute demo of what we have, and we'll go from there. All right, perfect. So as I was talking about the connector builder, so you go ahead as an integration engineer. We have this tool which is built in-house by Phenom. We'll go ahead and log into the system, and then you will see here on the screen, you have all of these different app categories that we support, but then if we don't have a certain app that is required by our customer, we can go ahead and add it. So in this case, we'll go ahead and add a new app. This is as simple as this. This is a low-code, no-code platform that we have built for our customers, our partners, and all the other integration teams to use. So in this case, we are actually going to add an outmatch app, which you see here. This is the assessment provider. And then we'll go ahead and start creating the connector and also an integration template, which can then be used by our customers as they integrate with outmatch. So now I'll take you through just a quick few screens how to add a connector. So again, as I go next, as you see here, there are two options. One is a connector, other one is the integration flow. Before we go into the integration flow, we need to build the connector. So I'll take you through those next steps. Go ahead and put the name of your connector, add a small description, and then here you go. This provides you that wizard kind of capability where you can go and drag and drop a variety of tools and a variety of menu options that will be presented to you. So here, as you can see, as we are configuring this connector, there are a variety of options. You can add APIs, you can do a bunch of conditional logic, and so on and so forth. So in this case, we'll go ahead and configure the API. So on this screen, as you can see here, there's an option for you to directly use your Postman script or import a curl, and it will immediately provide you all the necessary structure that you need to build your connector template. So once you do that, in this drop-down, you'll have all the different APIs that are available from Outmatch, and then you can select one. In this case, we are selecting the first one, post details to Outmatch. On this next screen, basically you are looking at all the details about the APIs, all the request parameters, all the response parameters, and also it actually pulls up a sample values for all of those fields so that you can take a look at it and make sure that this is exactly what you need. Once you're satisfied with that, you can go ahead and review all of that and add the stop, and that kind of builds your connector template. It's as simple as that. There's no coding involved. As I said, it's a low-code platform, which anybody can use. We can train our integration partners, we can train other folks as well. You don't really require an engineering talent or a technical person to really do this. So once you're done with your connector, as you can see here, now these will be listed as the list of connectors, and the next step will be to really go ahead and configure your integration templates. So let me walk you through that. So you just saw that we added Outmatch as one of the apps. So again, go ahead and select that. And now the connector that was just configured is available to you to start building that integration flow. So you go ahead and select that connector here in the screen, and then we'll go into this series of sort of screens or the steps that will allow you to build these integration flows. So there are really 4 steps, right? So first one is how you want to trigger your integration flow. Again, we have a variety of options. You have schedule. You can also do it from an app, and the third one is a webhook. So again, these things will continue to evolve, but this hopefully that gives you an idea of the flexibility this tool provides. In this case, we'll choose this from an app, and then the next screen, you'll again see a wizard style screen that comes up, and now you can go ahead and start setting up your integration flow template. So for this, in this case, because we selected from an app, you have to first go ahead and choose which app you want to start this integration with. In this case, we are just for this example, we are choosing this Phenom apps for apply. So basically what we're trying to do really is, as the candidate is walking through the candidate site, right, or the career site, they have selected a job and now they're about to apply for the job, and we want this integration flow to kick in at that time. So that's what we're trying to set up here. Again, in the next screen, it gives you a variety of options to trigger from the apply application. These are application-specific triggers. So as you can see here, in this apply, you have a bunch of options. One of them is that you want to trigger this before the application form is ready, before you click on apply now. So once you do that, again, you go ahead and review your connector details, because the connector is required for the integration flow to work. And then you go ahead, the third step is really this mapping and transforming of the fields, right? So if you think about it, what is going on is that the data is crossing over different boundaries, right? So it is coming from outmatch into the Phenom system and back and forth. So you do need this ability to map and transform those fields as to how those are recognized in different systems. Again, it will give you a very easy to use UI where you can review all your fields and then go ahead and map and transform the fields as well. So this is the transformation screen where you should be able to concatenate various strings. You can do all these operations that you are seeing on the left-hand side, and just do it using a drag and drop features. So once you've done that, the last step is really the ingress step. And what that means is, so all the data is great, but ultimately it needs to be consumed by the Phenom downstream systems, whether it is our CRM, whether it is our employee experience, recruiter experience, and so on and so forth. So this ingress step really now takes all of that data and puts it into the standardized model that we have, which is understood by the underlying systems. So once you do that, pretty much you are done with building your integration flow. And the only step that is now left is you still have to just get that thing approved, because we do want to have some sort of control, some sort of governance around that. So again, in a few more clicks, you will be able to submit this for approval. And once you have submitted that, once it is approved, you will get a notification on your screen. And once it is done, you can publish this integration flow, and that will be available for you in the Flow Designer, which is another system that Phenom already has. And at that point of time, it is actually ready for our integrators, our system integration partners, to use that to actually build the integration for our customers. So that's what I have in terms of demo, and then I'll go back to the slides. So you can switch that for me. All right. All right, so you might be wondering, so all that is great, all this happens in the background, why does it matter to us, right? So how does this benefit all of our Phenom customers? So as I mentioned earlier, now this tool or technology will allow you to connect with any application. You don't have to get logged into a particular technology. You don't have to get logged into a certain tool, a certain version, so on and so forth, right? Because now you'll be able to use this to accelerate your integration, right? So you will be able to do that very quickly, and also it's cost effective as well. The last one that I would like to really hit upon is that now with this tool, we are ready to train our SI partners in a big way, right? So now this does not require really a Phenom to be able to do these integrations for you. And that's what typically takes a few months, and now we'll be able to reduce this from a few months to probably even less than a week. As you can see, the steps that I took you through does not really take that much time. So that's what is the core value prop of this tool for our Phenom customers. So now I've handed it back to Ed.
So Matt, I've had two consultants in the front row. Is this their training? Can I call them certified now? Very exciting to see that type of tool and capability. As you know, there's a lot of demand for new integrations, and this is going to enable some significant scalability in developing these types of solutions. So we're really excited, Matt, touched what you built there, and we're very looking forward to the training and certification. Thought I'd add a little content on some best practices around the existing integrations that are very common in our implementations. And this is from experience with well over 60 implementations that we've done, integrating with a variety of applicant tracking systems and HR systems. The first one is the job pool. Everybody's aware of the job pool. You bring jobs over from your ATS or HCM. Real basic, simplify the mapping. We have seen organizations come up with really complex mapping about having to look for 5, 6 different pieces of data in order to determine which job category should be shown, doing like different types of data manipulation to get it to render on a career site. I say simplify that mapping to the greatest extent possible, and maybe do the difficult project of fixing it in your ATS so that it's much cleaner. When you have complex mappings, it just creates opportunity for error. So simplify, go one-to-one, any type of data field mapping as you can. Apply. The first one here, if you can remove the forced login, we've been in, ever since the online application came out in, I think, 1999, we've been working at trying to simplify the crazy apply process. But what is always there is you click the button and it says create your account or log in. I work with tons of clients where we implement the process where they don't have to do that, and where they can just apply and they can create the account on the back end of the process. And I'm telling you, it is between 40 and 60% conversion rate difference. That single thing that's required people to create an account could be dropping your conversion rate upwards of 40 to 60%. So if you can remove it, let them apply as a guest. You can buy shoes as a guest, and you should be able to apply to a job guest. Minimize your fielded data. So you upload a resume, it parses your resume, and then you put a bunch of other fields, and then some screening questions that are almost the same thing that's in the fields, and we are driving candidates crazy. So if you can just live with the content of a resume, let the extraction and skills get extracted, minimize those extra fields in the apply flow, that will get you a long way to reducing that time to complete an application. We do know that the correlation of the amount of time to complete and the conversion rate is like 1-to-1. So the longer it takes you to fill out an application, the more fields you have to clean up. And you might, by the way, you might go test your application, it might take you 5 minutes. Candidates, they want it to be perfect, and they take a lot more time than you might when you're testing it out. So don't fool yourself into thinking that it's really that simple. Be careful about those fields. And finally, source mapping. We do source mapping as part of implementation, but it is something that people sometimes don't pay as much attention to. Source mapping is really important for the type of data that you're looking for at the end of the day. And so make sure you spend the time. Phenom picks up every single source when the candidate comes through, and you should be able to map quite a lot of that to the data elements in your ATS. Finally, hiring status integration. So if you've already implemented, you're probably familiar with one-way status integration a long time back. Sort of when I was at Phenom, I kind of made the mantra that we needed to make sure one-way status integration was like absolutely guaranteed, had to be able, it was like almost a requirement. It's not required, if you don't buy it, you don't have to have it. But if you expect anyone to use your CRM, if you've got candidates in your CRM that are also in your ATS and you can't see what their status in the ATS, who's going to spend time in your CRM? So that one-way status integration is absolutely imperative. Make sure it's included. Two-way status integration, a little bit more challenging, but if this is the litmus test. Think about your recruiting org structure, and do you have sourcers that are separate from recruiters, or do you have full lifecycle recruiters? Because if you have full lifecycle recruiters, two-way status integration should be mandatory. Because depending on where they are in their day, if I need to go do some sourcing, and all of a sudden I get an update from a candidate, and I need to say that they withdrew, I don't have to go to a different system to do that. I want to be able to update that status wherever I happen to be. So two-way status, and if you're full lifecycle recruiting, two-way status integration is imperative. If you can't get it, for some reason there's a blocker, you should maybe rethink your org structure a little bit. Maybe you could have some sourcers who are dedicated to the top of the funnel and have those be your power users of the CRM, and have your recruiters going to pick up the candidates post-application in your ATS. So these are just 3 of the most common integrations and a couple of best practices for you to think about if you've already implemented or if you're about to implement so that you can create value faster.
Awesome, thank you. Hopefully this gives you a quick bit of insights into how to design your integrations. All right, so what's next, right? So hopefully this gives you a good sense of the foundational technology that we have built, or foundational platform that we have built here at Phenom. So really in terms of next steps, what we'll continue to build standard integration templates and across a variety of apps based on what our customers bring to us, and also based on our market research as well. And then at the same time, we'll also continue to share all of these updates in a variety of other forums as well. And of course, we'll reach out to our customers for feedback as well. So really, I just wanted to ask you this question: are you ready to elevate your talent experience using Phenom's integration capabilities? With that, I'll open it up for questions.
A couple of questions. First is, do I understand correctly that this is already available to end clients, or that is it already available to end clients, or that's coming this?
No, we have already launched that. We already have these tools available. Of course, we are continuing to build a lot of standard integrations or standard connectors. But yeah, this is ready to use.
Okay. So basically, I need to contact our account manager, and then you can have it taken for us, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then additional question was, how flexible is the tool for you to check how's the data deletion? Do you just allow to get the data, to post the data, or to delete the data as well?
Sorry, I couldn't hear your last one.
Do you allow to delete the data as well, or just to get the data and post the data via that connector?
So this is all about taking your data from other systems and putting it into our systems, right? So I think your question is about deleting the data and managing that life cycle. Yeah, so we have other ways of managing those via our APIs and a variety of other connections as well.
Okay, thank you.
Question.
Any other questions?
Hi, over here. Did I hear you correctly? This is available to end clients, not just to system integrators?
No, so this is, of course, this will need to be used by our partners, which we are looking to train them very quickly. And at the same time, of course, our internal teams will be trained on this as well, in the interim as well.
So is it available to end customers, or do we have?
Yeah, it will be,
Okay.
depending on what connectors you are looking for, that might require a little bit of time. So you can connect with us and we can talk through that. But yes, this is ready for us to start building all the connectors and integration flows. One more question? Anybody else? Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, I was just showing you from the screen mock-ups, but yeah, we can connect and we can talk about the exact system that you're using. Not all of those that were on that screen are ready.
Yeah, I think you can check with your either customer success or account manager, and they'll probably be able to pull together an active list of integrations.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Well, the slide had some apps that looked like they were ready to roll, and are those all ready to roll, or which ones are? So that was a mock-up slide, so it might not all be active. Some of them could be up. Ready for us to do.
Yes. All right. Anything else? Any other questions, guys? Thanks so much.